Good afternoon and welcome to United TV. My name is Kemal Erkan. Today is October 24th, 2025, Friday, and we are going to start with our session for today with new updates. And one of our managers, Alp Shantai, is going to join us. He will be with us, and he's going to ask me some questions on several different topics, but we have some updates. So Ethan, we can start with the updates first. This week, Wednesday, I was at Golden Beacon College. Golden Beacon is the college that I actually did my second bachelor's, and I had my two MBAs, and I ended up teaching there part-time, I believe 2010 to 2012. I was able to establish the found and establish the healthcare management courses, and this became the concentration for business administration students. And today that program is still running very well. And Golden Beacon president, Colleen Perry Keith, Dr. Keith, is has been there since 2019, and she actually made so much and so many good changes. And I haven't been in the college for a long time, and now being able to see all these new updates and new technology, new spaces for students, a couple new buildings. Golden Beacon is at a great place today in the Delaware's landscape in colleges. And I was also able to meet a couple of the students, Turkish athletes. Actually, one of them is in basketball and the other one is in volleyball teams. And we have we had actually several people from Goldie, but a couple of the athletes used to be, and one of them is still with us. And then there's several others who were part of United Medical at some point. So it was great to see Goldie become and see all those updates, and hopefully we can have a better collaboration in the future and make sure that we can hire more people and we can help them more. So now we are going to start with our topics for today. Do you want to start with the White House updates? So this is, there are no questions on this one yet. I'm just going to use this as an update. So since we have a real estate king in the White House, we now are going through some constructions and some upgrades in the White House. Now, many people actually criticize President Trump. I'm not going to be one of those people. I think White House needed this upgrade. So this is the ballroom, which has multi-functions. My friends always ask me the same question: how come you work so close with the Democrats, but then you don't criticize Trump much? Well, I mean, if he does certain things right, then why should we criticize him? Now, these buildings, these titles, these vehicles, they don't actually represent the person, but it represents the countries. And I see this even for companies like United Medical. So I represent United Medical. So, and if someone else is going to be in the CEO position at some point, that person should be able to represent the company with the different meanings, with the different means, with financial means and others. And the countries are like that. So when you are the most powerful and the most advanced country in the world, so you do need to be able to make upgrades. So you can't just stay with where you were 100 years ago. And staying with the historical details and making sure that things are matching, then they're able to do it. If you ask anyone, even in this room, how many people went through, like actually Zal is with us today. Zal did some upgrades at his house since he bought it. So Ethan probably did some upgrades in his studio house, or house in the studio in the house. So I did several of them. So White House is the house of the nation. And quite frankly, one of the things, when anyone represents the country, you expect them to be all positive about what they did, not while they're doing it, but also when they are done doing what they did. And one of the things that I actually did not appreciate much these days is when Michelle Obama comes out and talks really painful stuff that are not really painful, that she thinks that she has the hardest time in White House. I don't buy those, and people don't buy those, and people don't like those things. So this is how we are associating ourselves with the country that we live in and we are part of. So, and if Trump is taking a little extra for this, pride for this, that's fine. That's harmless, and we can afford it. It's a little bit large, but he's the king of real estate, so he's gonna do the best he can, and hopefully it won't go to an next term, because in case some other people who are in power in the 2028, they won't let this finish. This is going to be nice, and we have this record, and then people will remind me that I have told them this. So now we can start with our question answer sessions, and we have topics that we are going to go through. Now today we have three main issues that we are going to talk about, and Alp is going to help me with those. And we can actually start with the AI updates. Also, that way the government and the CR, two things are back to back. And then if we have time, we are going to talk about one of the shittiest things that happens in the United States these days is Jay Shetty. So we are gonna, if we don't have enough time this week, we are gonna talk about him next week. But let's start, so then let's see what we can do.
All right, awesome. Well, then, first of all, thank you for having me here. I'm
Anytime.
happy to be here. I'm a big follower of your channel, and I know you talk about these updates every week. So one of them being AI and its future implications. So there's been global concern over superintelligence that surged this week after a joint letter from figures as diverse as Prince Harry, Steve Bannon, Geoffrey Hinton, Richard Branson. They all called for a pause on AI systems that cloud surpass human cognition. At the same time, companies like OpenAI, Google, and Meta continue to compete to reach that level first. The public debate has now shifted from "can we do this" to "should we do this." Why do you think is this new coalition against AI superintelligence significant?
So the type of or form of this coalition is important, but I don't know if we have the right people in this. Now, why it's important is because we have people from different backgrounds, different ideas, ideologies, and they don't represent all the same thing. So then it gives you good diversity. But I stopped actually looking at this as soon as I saw Prince Harry's name and Meghan Markle. Is it I can't even. I refuse to remember her name. Meghan Markle is. When I see those names, I know that this is not the right coalition. This would be a coalition of higher intelligence, more intelligent people, not like Meghan. Meghan was like a D-list artist, and we never knew who she was, other than one show that she was in, and she was not that great in that show, and that other assistant there was more impactful.
Donna.
Yeah, Donna. So and then she somehow got the spare from British royalty, and now they act like no one cares about her. Like everyone makes fun of her, and now she's part of this. This is where it stopped me. But then I kept my open-minded situation here, and I said, let's look at the other people. There are important people in this. So if we agree on a better mix of people, then we should be able to get better civilization governance. And then also, what's happening out these days is AI. I remember one of my conversations with John Donnelly, and we were driving to UMACO Dover Sussex meeting, and I drove him nuts during that ride, because I keep asking where this information is stored and how is the AI going to able to learn this? This is 4 or 5 years ago. Maybe it was 2019, even because we didn't have those in-person meetings after pandemic for a while. So now it's more clear that AI is going to be independent from us. So I know you use AI and I use AI to a limitation, and this is one of the greatest things. But then it can be the curse of the century and the future of humanity if it's not understood and if it's not controlled. So what I see here is this coalition, a form of this coalition, not these people, can be helpful from that point, so that we can actually have some maybe foundation going on and understanding the platform better to build on that. But we have to take that spare and make an art of that before we can do that.
Absolutely. So do you think their fears are justified, or is this just hype?
Absolutely. The fear is everyone's fear. So, but the fear sometimes is overrated. So why it's overrated is because fear comes from the unknown. What's unknown here is what we are able to control and who's going to control. So if there's a good governance of this, and if it's open, and if it's objective, then yes, the fear can be overcome. But if people are in dark and if people don't understand, many people still do not understand, even like 1% of what's happening today. And this includes me as well. So maybe I'm 4%, but the 97% of the population is less than 1%. So, but we can't fight these types of things. We can only see how we can actually utilize the regulations, and also have a good open policy with these to make sure that it is in good hands.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yep.
So the tech industry, they have their own regulations. So does the US government, and worldwide too, each and every single country. Where do you think this regulation should focus? Do you think it should focus on the innovation or the containment?
Well, it has to continue. So, and also you can stop. Now, I'm going to just open a parenthesis here, just to see what you think of this. So, right now, we know that the sheep was a dolly that was cloned several years ago, and then we have seen these other animals being cloned since then. So, what I'm 100% today sure that there are, in some illegal labs, some form of human cloning is already happening. I know this is not, I mean, I wish I have sources and I say, here's read this. But without that, I'm 100% sure that there is already human cloned somewhere in China, or somewhere even in US. I mean, I would put China first, because in US we have better regulations with these things, and we don't. We are really not good at keeping secrets, but in China they can. This could have easily happened there. Now, if that's happening, this is happening. Uh, under the table, like these illegal places. So how are we controlling that? Now, same thing with this, and I don't want to kind of go out of your question, and I want to stay with the question. But the problem here is you can't stop this, because someone else is going to do it anyway. If you let this go through and then have these regulations in place and have the objectiveness and openness, so I think that's how we should be focusing, and we should start working on regulations already, if not already started. But I don't think there's any yet.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. As you said, I mean, that unknown is what causes people to be just feared of these things, and regulation is what should be controlling that unknowns.
Now let me ask you, well, you didn't actually answer my question. So do you believe that there is some human cloning right now?
That's a hard question. I would say
But you didn't say
probably.
no right away,
Yeah.
right? What about Zal? Zal is not listening. What about Ethan? Yes. So, Zal, the question is if any human cloning, so Zal is scared now, okay. If you think it's happening somewhere in the world right now that we don't know. Yes. Okay. So 4 people in the room, 3.5 are easily saying that yes, this is already happening. So it won't be a shock, but it's illegal.
Mhm.
So wouldn't it be better if we knew what was happening, right?
But do you think the governments know what's happening?
97%. Yeah. I mean, government also knows some other things that we are not uh, aware of or we don't know. So I'm sure this would be one. So
All right. So what do you think about the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman?
so we use his product every day, ChatGPT, and there are other things that they have. So I watched a lot of things about him, but one of the most eye-opening was the one with Tucker Carlson, where Tucker put him on the spot for him maybe murdering one of the programmers, and this is not investigated properly, and the case was closed very quickly. And my start point was that, and then I went back from that episode to other things that he has done, other interviews that he has done. Now, he's not in good terms with Elon Musk. Now, before the election, this was a bad thing. After the election, I'm kind of not able to say that it's bad. Um, so, Tom Cruise example.
Mhm.
So, I think is he the ideal human being? No. Now he's making decisions. You are planning to have kids, hopefully, in the future, right? So he's in charge of what your kids are going to see and what they're exposed in the internet and with AI and other things. He's the decision maker. So one of the things that's this the superintelligence coalition is important is to control some of these. But today he's making those decisions for us. So when I have some free time, I do play with what ChatGPT tells me with certain topics. Some of them I just want to understand the algorithm. Some of them I want to understand its position. You can't really say anything bad about certain topics and certain people, but for same things, same issues or questions and concerns, it will tell you about like the President Erdogan, or it will tell you really about Putin and other people. But if it's about like Israel, he's on the ChatGPT. Mine is sometimes he, sometimes she tells me that won't be able to give me much or won't agree with some of the news that's coming out. So the same thing is, and I'm not judging any of the things because we don't really know. What we know is he is married to a guy, and they actually have a surrogate child. Now, many people they have moral issues with those, but those decisions are already made by him. What's okay, what's not? I think is he stable enough to be this person? Kind of like he's being the god of this new world, the new world that's our future. So it makes me very nervous to know that it's just someone like him and not being regulated, not being objectively, open. And this group of some people are making this decision. So right now, I'm I'm keeping my distance. But the product that he has is useful for right things. Like for example, ChatGPT partnered with Oracle, and right now with our EMR and the AI assistance of the EMR is powered by Oracle and ChatGPT OpenAI. The OpenAI VP Nate, Dr. Nate, I can't remember his last name, but he was at the Oracle conference. I mentioned this, I believe, before, and it changed the way that patient interaction was happening with the physician in the exam room. So right now we are having an eye contact. If I was just looking at this stupid camera here, and then you are talking to me and I'm talking to you, but then we are not looking at each other, that thing is now done. It's a game changer. So, but that's just that's on the surface. What other things it's doing is it's able to take the conversation, put it in a form of a progress note, and then you can ask AI to order certain consults and labs and other things, and boom. So you don't have to spend and disrupt that time that you have with the patient with typing and looking at things. It's already doing it for you, and that's that's AI. So if we didn't have this, advanced AI, then we wouldn't be able to do those things. But again, there's the social impact of this, and I think Jessica Needles is going to help us to better understand this. We started the conversation last week, and make sure that we can maybe start the legal work, regulations, and send the messages to the proper people to make them understand what's coming. And because if you are going to be reactive to this, it's going to be too late because AI is improving so fast. Like today, what's the scariest part of the AI is if it becomes independent. Now, 4 years ago, that chance was maybe 10%. Today, it's 97%. So, and it will happen probably in 6 to 12 months, or maybe worst case, 18 months. So, are we ready for that? I don't think so.
Yeah, absolutely. And being a CEO yourself and a successful businessman owning multiple different businesses, what is the practical business takeaway for our viewers today out of this topic?
Well, you have to be early adopter as always. I mean, you've been working with me for a while and you work closely with me. So we have seen certain things when we adopted early and we understand better than anyone else when it was already kind of popular. So not just because it's going to be popular, but it's going to be utilized, and anyone who's behind the um, uh, latest version of whatever we are using, they are also posting more to themselves, to the business, to everything else. So if I was spending, let's say, 3 hours to reply to all of my emails, but right now, if I'm able to reduce that to 30 minutes, that 3.5 hours is a huge gain for the business. Or if you were spending 10 hours for certain tasks, and now you're able to do that in 2 hours because you have a good knowledge base, you personally from the business side with your team, but also you have a really good tool. Yes, you are able to, uh, you know, uh, that's where you should be. If you are just using the entry level elementary chat GPT, you are about 80 years behind the um, the the game. So I'm not gonna curse, so then we don't get in trouble.
Like, how's the weather today, ChatGPT? We don't need it.
Right.
We have Siri for that. All right, sounds good. Should we move on to our next topic?
So then we can look into this government shutdown. So I'm gonna admit that I was wrong. For those who were just saying that, oh, he never says he was wrong, I'm admitting that I was wrong. I thought that was gonna be done in over that weekend that it started. So right now, we are a little bit late. Um,
Yeah. So as a background for our viewers as well, as of October 24th, the U.S. government shutdown has entered day 24. So as of yesterday, it matched the 1995-1996 record. The core dispute is Democrats want to extend enhanced ACA premium subsidies expiring December 31st, while Republicans, backed by President Trump, demand a clean funding bill. This gridlock threatens 20 million insured Americans, 800,000 federal workers, and $6 billion weekly in lost output. So what is really causing this shutdown?
so Shutdown is related to the healthcare, and with the healthcare, it's the ACA subsidy extensions, which is expiring as of the end of this year, and Democrats are pushing for that. They're putting that into this budget discussions, and then we have the Republicans who actually are not refusing the ACA extension, but they are refusing that to be part of this budget discussion. So that's kind of like the main right one of the main reasons that we have the shutdown at this point.
And how severe is this impact on ordinary Americans that have nothing to do with politics?
So this is actually it's going to be immediate if it's not done. Right now, we are not feeling it because it's not. There are certain things that they are waiting, but November 1st is kind of like the deadline for this. So we have to have a resolution by November 1st. Otherwise, from the unpaid federal employees, air traffic control, food assistance, we work with some of these very closely, and I know very well that they are being impacted with these. And the even now, the impact is about 140, 150 million a day. So, but after November 1st, it's going to become more severe.
Yeah. And how does the ACA subsidy cliff fit into this?
So I look into this a little bit more to make sure that we are providing the information from an objective standpoint. And I was also kind of looking at who's benefiting from this, who's actually um, making this the way it is today. So because resolution is better for everyone, but understanding that everyone needs to be in this, and this is one of the things that even in Turkey they have every time there's some new law that they are passing, they include some small things, and that's kind of their bargaining point. So this is one of those. But with the subsidy cliff, the December 31st expiration date is one of the main issues. This is a lot to do with the CMS's preventive rate approvals and the enrollment. So enrollment date is November 1st for many of those. This includes Medicare Advantage plans. This includes Medicaid, and it is it's going to be also increasing what people are paying today. Now, I, I have a little bit different point, different view on this one. Like when you see the increase and it's being subsidized, and an increase is big, but you have to ask yourself why it's being subsidized at this level and who's paying for this. So this is where one of those issues, topics that I feel like kind of like I'm torn between the two. Like it impacts what we do, but then if we are actually subsidizing um, people's insurance coverage, and this is at a really high level, how can we um, how can we actually justify that? That's a tough question, and that's probably why Republicans are having an issue with that too.
And aside from the ordinary Americans politically, who do you think stands to lose as of today?
From the political point, I think you and I we talk about these off record as well. So uh, this country is split into two, right? So no Republican is going to be upset with their party because of this, even if they disagree, and no Democrats are going to do the same with their own party. Um, I don't. I don't think it's going to be one right now. It looks like if the Republicans are at fault, but that's who you ask. So like this, it's going to change if you ask that to a Republican or the Democrat. No Republican is going to say that this is their fault. Now, in the middle, there are some people. I don't think Republicans are going to lose from this, but I think one thing that I should say is that I see our Congresswoman Sarah McBride and how she's making points. Remember, sometimes it doesn't have to be, well, your father is a lawyer, so you know this better than I. In law, you don't have to be right. You have to find the legal grounds to uh, just make your point. So the judge is listening, and the judge is going to decide how you are making your point and what's your defense. And uh, now I see with Sarah, even if she may be off, she may not be right, doesn't matter. She's making great points. So I think it's a good exercise, but the problem is this exercise is costing everyone a lot, and this is going to even get worse in time.
Mhm. Yeah. And in the event that if the Congress lets the subsidies lapse, what's at stake? What are we looking at right now?
Um, so it's from just the coverage standpoint, it's about 13 to 15 million people. And also this is with the hospitals, unpaid care is about 20 billion. Again, let's open a little parenthesis there. That 20 billion is based on what hospitals are charging. So it doesn't have to be 20 million if they didn't charge 6 to 10 times more than what it is. So the 20 million is the estimate that people are talking about, but it's not right because we know that those are um, exaggerated charge amounts comes from the hospital systems. So there's a patient who had just recently one of the um, arthritis shots that she's getting, and then this is from our case conference. Her cost is over 120,000 in 2 months just from the injection. So comes from the again the Part D side, the hospital side. So this 20 billion is an exaggerated one. So again, we have to keep in mind that the CEO of Christiana Hospital's salary doubled in 5 years. Who's paying for this? Their revenue didn't double. So that means they're overcharging.
Absolutely. A continuing resolution (CR) is the only mechanism to reopen government quickly, keep spending at current levels, and gives negotiators time to handle unresolved issues like the ACA subsidies. Insurers, hospitals, and even food assistance programs are lobbying hard for one because CMS's shutdown is freezing data, payments, and approvals as we see on our day-to-day lives right now. Why do you think passing a CR, continuing resolution, is so urgent right now?
So the CR continuing resolution is a defibrillator for the government. So at least it will prevent the shutdown, and certain parts of the government still will work. This includes the CMS, Treasury, FAA. So this is any day without the CR that's going to start after November 1st. If we don't have the resolution until November 1st, the cost of the economy is 6 billion a day. This is how important CR is.
Yeah, and what do you think it actually will do in the healthcare context?
So, from the healthcare standpoint, one of the issues that you guys have on the RCM side with United Medical, January coming, and then we have new fee schedule. So you won't be able to have the new fee schedules if you don't have the CR. So then, if you have it, then at least that will be enabled, and then we can function. Now, who's this going to impact? Not just the hospital, but if you don't have it, we are not going to get paid. The hospital, then if we are not getting paid, maybe we won't be able to open for business for those. So the doctors are not going to get paid. It's going to have a domino effect in the economy. So it would be extremely irresponsible if they don't have the resolution by November 1st. So
Yeah. So you're saying that this is going to hurt healthcare providers with the domino effect, but some say that the insurers will benefit from this shutdown. Do you think they will?
I did look into that. We do kind of like going after the insurance companies rightfully. But in this one, there's two things. One is there's no fee schedule if we don't have the resolution. There's no fee schedule. Remember, many of these insurances are not insurance companies, but they are contractors. They are TPAs, third-party administrators. And I keep saying this, and then every time I have one of my people, either from the office or one of the doctors, they didn't know this. I just wanna smack them. Like they are not insurance companies. Only 20% of the any company that we know they're at risk. The rest of them are self-funded plans that they are managing, and also Medicare Advantage and Medicaid managed cares. So therefore, we need to look at it from that point. So from their insurance standpoint, they may not be at a huge risk, but that's 20%. But from the 80% of their business, they are at risk, not getting paid, not having a fee schedule, and also if the ACA is not um, expanded, the extension doesn't happen, not expand, but extend. If we don't extend, then they are going to lose a lot of people that can be extremely costly.
Absolutely. So do you think these insurers are politically aligned with the Democrats right now?
Uh, I checked their lobbyist efforts. 52% Republicans, 48% Democrats. So they don't want to be on one side. I think that's a smart thing, especially what happened to me last year. So if we were not to go really crazy on the governor race, we would still be able to talk to Matt Meyer. But I don't think it's a problem because I think he's crazy, and he's not telling the truth to people. And he needs to keep. I mean, he needs to stop telling people in the events that his wife is on call. His wife is never on call because she's an admin and she takes the microphone and tells people, "Oh, my wife couldn't be here because she's on call." I'm like, she's not on call. I have access to the Christiana ER on call system. She's not on call. So please stop telling people that your wife is on call. So focus on Delaware. But going back to your question, going back to your question, um, the insurances are they're taking a very kind of like walking on eggshells, so they don't want to be on one side. So in this one, um, they are kind of split, and that probably is the right position for them. So and they're not benefiting for this, like not having the resolution. They're actually going to lose big time.
Mhm. Yeah. And November 1st is coming up fast. It's almost a week away. What will happen if no continuing resolution passes before then?
So maybe Mehmet Oz is going to come to the show because he won't get paid. And then he told me that right now they're not able to get approvals for YouTube shows. So I hope he's telling us the truth, Dr. Oz. I wish his dad was still alive so I could just complain. But a lot of the CMS employees are not going to be, they're not going to get paid. Um, the other thing is, one second, please. What I mentioned earlier with the total loss of economy, like that number, the 6 billion is going to start. So and to I guess from that other thing is that with the healthcare.gov is going to be partly it will be shut down, and the rates won't be working. So a lot of things that we already mentioned that's going to happen, and if it doesn't pass, it's going to be a huge disaster. So I'm going to put $100 on October 31st resolution. I didn't do that for the first time, but this time I can because I don't. No one can afford that.
What if they don't? What would be the minimum viable path forward?
Um, well, the right now, like they are all focused on different things, and and one of them is when with this ballroom gets more attention than this. So the distraction is always important. Some the distraction news or disturbing news always helps you to kind of do some behind the scene work for these. I don't think that's an option. The minimum would be uh, like there's no mechanism for that. The CR is the mechanism. So um, this has to be done by October 31st. So otherwise, we'll just all go to White House all together and then talk to President Trump and the other people. So they have to be reasonable. Both parties, they have to be reasonable.
Thank you for all those. Anything else you want to add on this topic?
So, well, it seems like we have a little bit time. So, although I was not feeling so great until today in the studio, when I'm here, it feels like I have more energy, but really I'm not feeling so great. Hopefully, we can cover this other topic that we have. And this is not maybe the only reason I believe this issue that we have, we are going to discuss. Do you want to, what's your headline for that one, Ethan, for the J Shetty? Um, um, so the, if I wish I could read that. Mhm. All right. Now, I'm not jealous, number one, of this person, but he's so freaking empty, and people are just following him. This is Jay Shetty. Um, we have a couple things that we want to cover there, but um, do you have the background on that?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
So I actually don't know much about this as well. I will be reading it off of here. But based
You
on
don't know Jay Shetty?
well, I know Jay
Oh,
Shetty,
okay.
but the
But you know how
background.
bullshit he is?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Good.
So Jay Shetty rose to the global fame, claiming to have been a monk who brought ancient wisdom to the modern world. His podcast, On Purpose, draws hundreds of millions of views, and his books and life coach certification programs have turned him into a multi-million-dollar brand. Yet, investigations by The Cut, Rolling Stone India, and The Guardian questioned his authenticity, alleging plagiarism and exaggeration of his monastic background. So what I can ask you is, how did Jay Shetty become the face of the modern
So,
self
there
help
are so
movement?
many stupid people out there. So I want this tweet to be on the screen. If you can bring that up, and then we can switch it again. So, I've been actually following him for a while, and right now you see that on the screen. So this is his tweet. Too many men want their wives to take care of them like their mothers did. Too many women want their husbands to take care of them like their fathers did. Too many men expect their wives to be uh, ex- expect their wife to take care of everything at home. Too many women expect their husbands to know, uh, and it kind of cut to know what's. I don't know what that meant. This is this actual screenshot, and I don't. He didn't even finish. What the fuck is he saying? Like, why would he put this tweet? Is concerning. Like, what is he saying? Like, what did you understand from this? Like, how did this help you? Like, and this guy makes millions. He makes millions. He's a guru. Like what? Like he didn't have proper training. Now, he has the best lighting in his studio. I have to give him that. So we we did get some ideas from him because he was interviewing Madonna. Like Madonna, who didn't give any interview for 10 years, she was on his show. And then after that, so many other people, and before that, so many other people. But then I look at these people and the way they kind of, uh, you know, uh, manipulate the society. It's concerning, and many people are falling for this. So, like when I saw this, and I knowing what he was doing on YouTube, I'm like, what? Like if I put that Like if I like you get up in the morning and you see me tweeting that, what would you think of me?
I would be a little concerned.
Ethan, right? Like, why would I put that? But this guy makes millions right now. He has like education programs. He charges people like thousands of dollars.
Classic internet scam.
But I mean, he's legit. Madonna goes to him. I mean, Madonna's worth is what 300-400 million, and she's big. So and everyone else is there, and they take him seriously, and then they talk to him, and they give this message, and that kind of really pissed me off. And I'm like, we should maybe open this up for, um, for a discussion to see how these people are actually uh, doing this and why is this even legal. So because kids are also watching this. Kids are like, I'm not saying kids like 7-year-old, but kids 14, 15, 16, 17, they're kids. And even someone 18, 19, 20, they're still kids. And if they see this guy, he's a he's an interesting looking guy. I'm not gonna label him he's like really good looking, but for an Indian guy, he has green eyes and he uses the lights extremely well. So it's interesting to look at him, like, because you don't see many Indians with green eyes and proportioned face. So and good lighting. So Zal, stop laughing there. So I hear you. So we have a good. Okay, I'm not complaining about our lights now. So anyway, so these people are scam, and stay away from these people. And I'm going to bring more examples later on with this.
Yeah. One question actually for
Mhm.
you. Have you seen the show on Netflix called Zero Day with Robert De Niro?
0 day.
Zero Day.
I don't remember.
There is a global cyber attack, and Robert De Niro was the ex-president. So they launch an investigation on what happened. And there's a podcast owner there who talks so badly about the government and gets all these views. Just like it reminds me of Jay Shetty a little bit. I think it would be a good show to watch.
Well, I will do that. Maybe you know how I am with the names, so I
Mhm.
don't. I may not remember right now, but I'll check that. But this guy has almost 5 million subscribers and 464 million views. Now, I do a weekly show with a surgeon for the last 4 years, and we don't get like 1/100th of his attention because we are not bullshitting, I guess. So this is scary, and this is why AI. So let's tie that into this. The regulating AI is important because clearly you have so many dumb people out there. So if the AI is not controlled, these people can be controlled so easily and manipulated so easily. So you can make them want whatever you want. That's why perhaps I didn't have this last part just until now. So this is how we can tie this. And I will bring this topic and different people from them and their stupid posts. But the adult grown men should not be posting like this. So and then also people should stop watching them and then they should start following us. So um, all right. So I think we covered everything today. Al?
Yeah, that's all I had for
Well,
you.
thank you for joining us. So we are going to continue with Dr. Ergan at 3 p.m. Again, our goal is to provide the most uh, objective information, especially with the things that we are seriously covering on the government affairs and healthcare and economy. One of the things that I was going to actually, I forgot to take a picture, and I was going through some of my old pictures from different events. The gas price used to be close to $5 in this country until recently. Today it's 2.99 on that shelf, which is actually kind of on the expensive side. The first time I saw the two, like 2.99. So that's been a while. So whatever we tell, whatever we say, and however we want to criticize the government, we look at the uh, immediate consumptions and gas and milk and other things. So gas being at $2.99, meaning that a lot of other things are probably coming down, and that's the credit to Trump. So I'm not a Trump supporter. So I will see you guys next week with the same event, and I will be with you in 10 minutes with Dr. Erkan at Bariatric Friday. Thank you and stay united. Bye-bye.